APL Talk is an exceptional online educational resource that addresses authentic optimal health vibrancy through informative discussions to help people and their families live healthier and productive lives. And now your co-host, Karl Tihenor and Mary Esther Gilbert.
Greetings everyone and welcome to this edition of APL Talk. I am Karl Tihenor, your co-host with Esther Gilbert, my co-host. And the purpose of this podcast is to present to you APL's Ageo product line of all of its 14 formulations. And what you'll learn in this podcast is the combination of all the botanical ingredients in each of these formulations and the specific body system nutritional needs that each of these formulations address. So with that, let me introduce Esther, who's going to get you into the meat of this program. And as you can see on the slide, I've known Esther now for 7 years. In fact, she was originally brought on board by me as an assistant coach for a collegiate cross-country team that I was coaching, because we need a little bit more information and presence regarding how to apply nutrition to athletic performance. But she has a bachelor's degree in nutritional science and also a master's degree in holistic nutrition. She's the author of 6 books, and she's also the creator of the True Health Mastery System, Nutritional Synergy System, and Holistic Total Health System, which, by the way, both are trademarked. So she's also the publishing editor, as you can see, and CEO and founder of the True Health Journal. And I mentioned the author of 6 books, the most recent of which she will be referring to in this podcast, the APL Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide. So with that introduction, I yield the program over to Esther.
Thank you, Karl. Hello, everyone. Here we are with another one of our APL Talk videos, and I'm really excited to present the Ageo product line to you today and give you a bit of more detailed information about the formulations. So the formulations contain 80 superfood botanicals, and there are over 1,000 different bioflavonoids and phytonutrients, including essential oils, in our formulations. The nutritional factors in the drops are such that they are immediately identified as biologically correct at the human cell membrane. So this is the microcell level we're talking about. So there will be rapid absorption, 100% fully utilized for all of the nutrients they contain. And that's really difficult to achieve in any nutritional supplement and any nutraceutical supplement either also. So we are very thrilled to present to you the technology as to how they are much more utilizable and absorbable by the human body. We have earned the highest industry standard certifications in over 60 countries, and that means the international standards, ISO, and the kosher and halal distinctions. We are all organic, no GMOs, and we oversee the production from overseeing the health of the soil and the seed and the growth of the plants and their development, and the optimal harvest times, which is very important for harvesting plants at their optimum potency. So that means that our products are of maximum nutrient potencies. In order to truly manage your health, we must pay attention to the fundamental causes of what it means to truly be healthful. So we must view our body as an ecology, an ecosystem that we must maintain. So in order to be effective in our nutritional health management, we have to prevent the degenerative disease process, and the only way to do that is to realize what goes on inside the body. Our bodies are highly organized systems. They're composed of cells, the micro units of life, and this composes all tissues and structures and fluids in the body. The body produces tens of thousands of regulating, monitoring messenger proteins such as hormones, and all these communication systems require the right types of molecules that you must put into your body on a daily basis. Our genetic code, our DNA, the double helix, for instance, contains all the instructions for directing trillions of cellular and therefore system processes. So there is the differentiation of cells and tissues and all of their unique functions that the DNA must distinguish and direct the body to replicate and repair and regenerate. So inside of our cells are microscopic cells that we cannot see with the eyes, but can see with specialized micro electronic equipment. We can know what's going on inside the cells. So the cells are the units of life, the building blocks of everything we are composed of. And inside those cells, there is a tremendous amount of biochemical reactions and actions going on. There is the assembling of molecules, the disassembling of molecules that it absorbs, the repurposing of molecules, replication of the DNA and therefore our cells, and therefore generating constantly new cells and tissues. There is the repair and the energy production that goes on for all of the metabolic actions that occur inside these cells. We have biological reactions that are countless, literally, and science is still uncovering a lot of these processes that are going on inside our bodies. So all cells require a full range of essential nutrient factors of molecular precision, and that means that they are biologically correct for our nourishment.
So I guess we'd call that an ecosystem.
Yes,
right.
We are an ecosystem. We are a well-balanced, or we try to the body tries to maintain the well balance of its biochemistry at all times, even though it goes out of balance from all of these different input stimuli that we subject our bodies to, either on purpose or we're just in the environment that happens to affect us.
Okay.
So what's the best way to ensure complete and correct nourishment to your body? Well, just understand that the body is a biologically, we must take in biologically compatible molecules, and we must make sure that we are absorbing as much of these nutrient factors as possible so that we can maintain our bodies properly and prevent the degenerative or deteriorating process. Their aging process must go slowly rather than rapidly, as is happening so often today. So we want to strive for 100% utilization in our foods and in our nutritional supplements. And after all of the research that I've done on nutritional supplements, then I have found that the drops are the only supplement on the market that allows the body to absorb all of its factors 100%. And that's pretty difficult to accomplish.
So the bioavailability and absorbability of these nutrient factors are completely in place.
Exactly,
okay.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And this is what makes this line of products so exciting. I rarely endorse products. I have analyzed so many products over my 40 years in this business that I am not very impressed by most supplements out there. It's all about absorbability. It's all about where these nutrient ingredients come from. So we have to make sure we know what goes on in the body and we know what we're putting into the body.
And all that in the compatibility with our own cells.
Yes, it has to be 100% compatible with what our DNA looks for mm-hmm. and what it searches for in the way of precision molecules so that it can utilize them optimally to maintain our health. Okay, so
Thank you.
Also, we have to know about the full range of all the known essential nutrients, all the nutrient factors. So phytonutrients, which are plant chemicals, actually, they're huge molecules that the body loves to disassemble and utilize to the great extent that it does. And enzyme catalysts, without raw food enzymes, the body cannot perform any of its biochemical reactions. Nothing happens without these raw food enzyme catalysts. So we must look at whole food vitamin and mineral complexes, not just synthetic partial vitamins and things like that, or non-absorbable minerals, such as the kind you dig up in the dirt. You know, you grind up rocks, and there's minerals in those rocks, of course. But plants take up those minerals and they transform those minerals so that they're much more absorbable by our human bodies. So we have to also understand what goes on as far as our vitamin and mineral intake. There are 9 essential amino acids that the body cannot use, and so we get those from our food. And from those 9 essential amino acids, we can manufacture the other 11. So our body, in turn, makes about 20 or 22 amino acids, but it needs those 9 essential from the foods we take in. And so many times, when we don't take in all 9 in a day, then we have a lot of biochemical reactions that can actually come to a grinding halt because the body needs those particular amino acids to build new tissues and cells and to maintain all of the systems. So we have to avoid all of these distorted molecules out there, processed foods, foods that have been highly heated, or their molecules just distorted and rearranged into configurations that the body cannot understand. And it tries its best to break things down, but it cannot do it very well. It takes a long time, and in the process it causes a lot of inflammatory reactions, and so the body has to produce extra inflammatory proteins to protect against too much damage. But even that, after a time, when the immune system goes awry, then because of lack of nutrients, right, because of lack of taking in all of the nutrient factors every day, then so many things can go wrong in the body. So it's very simple for us to be able to say, okay, here's an array of whole foods and whole food supplements that I can take for my body, but we have to make sure that we do this always, all the time, and we can't let up, otherwise things start going very, very wrong very quickly. So the main thing we need to worry about, though, is oxygenation of our tissues, taking in plenty of oxygen and hydration. And other than breathing and drinking water, which is pretty obvious for achieving those two very important things, we also need to realize that the foods we take in also contain oxygen and hydrating molecules as well. So a lot of high water content food and a lot of the enzymes that we produce in the body and take in from raw foods allow us to break down foods so that we can utilize the oxygen that way as well. And not only that, since plants are able to capture sunlight and store it as energy potential in the form of carbohydrates and fats, and some of the, of course, the molecular protein structures contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen as well. So our body is able to actually utilize the sun as energy in the form of these types of energy molecules in the food. So that's pretty exciting. All right, so
it's good to know that there's more to oxygenation than just breathing.
Yes, yes, we can get it from our food as well. Not that you want to hold your breath while you're eating, of course, but our body does utilize everything to the fullest extent it possibly can. Right?
But even this little piece of information is helpful because, I mean, we take so much for granted, but as you get into the details of where we also the body acquires oxygenation and through water and breathing, it's a good thing to understand.
Definitely. If you know what's going on inside your body, you can actually talk to your molecules and help direct things. Don't laugh. There's been a lot of scientific studies to support this. So there's more going on inside of our inner universes than we realize. And so the more we are aware of what's going on, then the more we can communicate with our own system. Okay? So with all of this, the body produces energy, and the unit of energy is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. You athletes out there understand ATP because you need it to fuel all of your muscles and all of your activities. But not only that, we need ATP to fuel every single cellular action, every single biochemical reaction and biological process that goes on in the body. So as you see here on the slide, here's a big, well, I should say a colossal blow-up of the microscopic cell membrane, and it's a plasma membrane. And on the membrane, there are identifying proteins that can detect whether a molecule that arrives through the circulatory system, it arrives at various cellular sites throughout the whole body system, if it is of self or biologically compatible with the human body. So not much gets through that cell membrane. If it doesn't fit with the puzzle-like pieces that have to fit, you know, with the molecular structures that arrive there, then it's not going to allow it in. So if you're taking in foods that have distorted molecules, you're not getting any nourishment out of it. You're not getting not very much energy is being produced from that. Okay, so anyway, down at the bottom here, we compare the two different types of cells, the plant cell and the human. Let's say this is a typical red blood cell because it's shaped round, and so many cells in our body systems are not shaped roundly like that. So, but inside every single cell in our human body is the genetic code that tells the body what to do, tell the cells what to produce and what to accept and what to generate and what to repair. I mean, everything that happens in the body as far as protecting your health goes on inside of our trillions of cells. And as you can see, when you compare a plant cell with the human cell, they have the same organelles, they produce energy, they just repurpose and rearrange and repair. They do all of the work in the body as they do in the plants. So our bodies are very, very compatible with plants, and actually our DNA can do its repair work by looking at the blueprints in the DNA of plants and do its repair work. So I'm giving you this basic background as far as trying to give you an idea of what goes on in the body so that you can understand what we have here in the form of the APL drops. So what do nutrient factors do? What in the world are nutrient factors, right? Well, they're more than just vitamins and minerals. They are, like I said before, oxygenation, hydration, sunlight, biocatalyst enzyme actions, phytochemicals or phytonutrients, whole food vitamin complexes, the mineral complexes, and our cellular fuel, which is from proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, which we derive from plants and animals who have eaten plants. So it's very important to know these nutrient factors and make sure that you're paying attention and providing your body with all of these molecules. So, so why are they so critical to optimal body functioning? Well, just to name a few points here, sparked by enzyme catalysts, their nutrient factors perpetuate the actions of trillions of bodily processes every second you're alive, which I've mentioned. They are the fundamental raw materials your trillions of cells use to fuel and repair and accurately replicate and protect your genetic code of instructions that direct all the actions in all body systems. And they maintain and repair the genetic code of instructions, ensures all cells are correctly intra-communicating and intercommunicating, starting and halting every critical reaction in the body. The nutrient factors also boost the immune system. They recognize and eliminate foreign pathogenic organisms, foreign toxins, and old cells, and many, many more functions. The nutrient factors also maintain the hormonal and glandular or endocrine system, producing, regulating, monitoring hormones that regulate and oversee all of the body systems, including the brain and nerve functions and reproduction. They also, when these nutrient factors are missing, if you're not providing your body with these nutrient factors every day, many system processes cannot be completed, causing a cascade of reactions that force the body to ultimately malfunction. And over time, chronic missing nutrient factors often lead to various system malfunctions and result in progressively worsening, deteriorating, and degenerative conditions. So these are the 14 formulations that we're proud of for APL. They cover whole body nourishment. They address the nutritional needs of all the body systems, 100% absorbability, and this is a serious boost for proper cell functioning.
And if I could just interrupt just for a minute.
Sure.
For our audience out there, we've started these podcasts as a series dwelling on the teaching learning component of nutrition and how these drops apply to what we're speaking about here, especially the science behind this. So thank you, Esther. Everything that she has presented to this point is, again, pieces of the science leading up to this. Now you're going to be able to see the specific applications of these drops for the specific body systems that she will address and the needs that they have. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get going on this, huh? This is going
to
be fun. Okay, so we have a special patented technology, the Accumulate SA, or Strength Accumulation Microtechnology. It's a patented technology that preserves all the plant nutrient factors to make sure we're not losing any of those nutrients, those very, very important nutrients in these super botanical formulations. So in other words, we can preserve all of the essential macro and micro mineral elements, the vitamins, the enzymes, the amino acids, the natural sugars, and the fatty acids that are contained in these plant substances. And again, over 1,000 phytonutrients, essential oils, phytochemicals, which is the lifeblood of plants, 100% biocompatibility, correct molecules that recognize, identify, and utilize. So, you know, this is why I laid out the groundwork. So this is exactly what this technology actually enhances. Okay, so the technology itself is actually an impulse electrical force technology that infuses these plant materials that are already very powerful antioxidants, meaning they have extra electrons to donate and neutralize a lot of the toxins and other free radicals that are running rampant in the human body. We are exposed to so many toxins every day, whether we nourish ourselves properly or not. We are still bombarded with, it's known to be about 10,000 synthetic chemicals every every day, in the air, water, in our foods, and things like that. So we, of course, there's a lot of mass movements now, thank goodness, that we are working toward to reverse this this toxic world. So we are definitely calling to anyone else out there on board to help do whatever they can to help reduce that and help heal not only the earth, but of course we need the earth to be healthy so that we can have healthy food and we can have healthier lives. So this is what the technology does. It increases the antioxidant capacity of all of the botanical materials, which helps protect the damaging effects to our genetic code or our DNA. So this is all about protecting the genetic code of life, not just in human DNA, but in the way we raise our foods and the way we raise our animals, and therefore creating healthier ecologies throughout the world. So it's a very extended way to help the world by just focusing on your own inner ecology and making the choices that make a difference. So the SA technology, like I said, it neutralizes the cell-damaging free radicals, and it leads to, the free radicals are like I just said, all these damaging effects. They're associated with the presence of inflammatory proteins in the body, synthetic chemicals from consumer products in the environment, pesticides, harmful nanoparticles, and other hazardous atmospheric particulates that are now in the air, and genetically modified organisms, industrial chemicals, drugs, alcohol, tobacco. The list goes on and on. So we must be conscious of preserving our health so that we don't contribute to all the things that harm us. So I have put two products on a page for the most part on this. So our first formulation, which Carl will hold up here.
Comes in boxes like this?
Yes, they're very pretty little boxes. And can you show them on the inside? They're so beautiful. They are just like these crystallized pearls of different colors. And I will go over the ingredients. Look, he can't help himself. He's got to have one. They're so delicious. And this must be the grape juice, grape skin colored candied drops here.
All natural, of course.
Of course.
Right?
I'll definitely go over every ingredient on here. Okay, so I'm going to go pretty fast. Actually, the book that I'll tell you about at the end of the slideshow gives you a much more in-depth idea of what these botanicals do in the body. But for now, I'm just going to help you familiarize yourself with our botanicals and very briefly pick out a couple of botanicals here and there to explain why the company has included them in these specific formulations. So as you can see, I have posted pictures of the different body part or different body systems. And so as I go along, I will address why they're there and what the botanicals do for that particular body system. So the alt contains the I'm going to read them to you very quickly so that you just get a real rapid idea as to what's in the botanicals. So the alt contains the astragalus, black currant, eucalyptus, ginger root, grapeseed, green tea leaf, licorice root, mangosteen, pine nut, rowan berry, and skullcap root. Now these botanicals are combined such that particular aspects of these botanicals will address the nutritional needs to maintain the cells of these body systems. And that up here is the circulatory system, the respiratory system, the lymph system, and the urinary system. And a lot of these, three of these systems are three of five of the eliminative channels the body uses to detoxify from all of these toxins that we are exposed to every day. So a lot of these, in fact, every single botanical in all of the formulations do just that. And we have a variety of different aspects of these plants that address various needs of these particular systems. So these plants have an affinity mostly for these systems, but it doesn't mean they don't address the rest of the body systems as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the alt was designed for, a lot of people use that for the respiratory health and to clean out their lymph nodes and their urinary system and make sure their circulatory system is unobstructed.
Right.
Okay, so the BRN, or brain as they call it, contains nutrients and nutrient factors that are utilized by the nervous system and the brain. They also contain a lot of plants that are utilized by the skeletal system and, of course, the circulatory system that distributes nutrients everywhere, the digestive system, and urinary and lymph, and the endocrine system. So all of these systems work together to create the healthy human organism. And these particular botanicals, and you'd be surprised at the simple, ordinary, everyday apple, there's a lot of science behind the apple. There's been a lot of nutritional science that has been explored about the apple. So the apple's a very good food, okay? So it may seem simple, but it's actually a superfood. So apple, ashwagandha root, asparagus root, bilberries, and green coffee beans. They're so much healthier than roasted coffee. I don't know what green coffee tastes like, but when we utilize the plant materials, especially the cells, the inside of the cells of the the green coffee, then it's quite a contributing botanical to your health. Turmeric root is also in there, damiana leaf, ginger root, great anti-inflammatory, ginkgo leaf, also known for its nutrient factors that improve the brain functioning and nervous system functioning. Ginseng root, the Asian type, and the ginseng root, which is the Siberian, the green tea leaf, magnolia vine fruits, and water hyssop leaf. The company picked out certain parts of these botanicals to emphasize and bring about more potency to our formulations. So that's 2 out of 14. The next one contains a lot of ingredients, so I gave it its own slide. It's called the GRW, and we call it GROW because it grows good health. And that's what the box looks like. Is he going to eat one from every one of them? I'm so jealous.
No, I won't do that, but I want to prove to the audience, the listeners, that you can actually put several drops underneath your tongue at one time.
Oh, yeah, I take 4 at once.
So I'm dealing...
They're very safe, by the way.
So I'm filling a need for my respiratory system, and now with those body systems. So
He's
there
getting
you go.
inspired.
There you go. It's an easy thing to do.
Oh, it's so high compliant. You know, when you have someone who has nutrient deficiencies and you want them to do better things for their health, then they really love this stuff. You know, this, can I have my candy now? And parents are giving the candy to their children because it's guilt-free. You know, it's actually good
and for
them.
this podcast, I'm only staying with 2.
All right.
Because I need to talk.
Right. Actually, he was born with the lisp. The candy just enhances it. So anyway, the GRW, the GROW, contains aloe vera leaf gel and the ashwagandha root, astragalus, balsam pear, which is also known as bitter melon, bilberry, cranberry, currant, husk tomato, which is the ground cherry. There's a lot of different names for this particular berry, and the olive leaf, the pomegranate seed, purple coneflower root, reishi mushroom, and rowan berry. Now this is a combination of botanicals that address almost every single body system. Not that it doesn't address the rest of them, but it focuses on the body has a certain affinity for certain molecular configurations that are present in these plants. So we've got an anti-inflammatory. As you can see, as you might have noticed, though, a lot of these plants are a little bit redundant in some of our formulas, but it doesn't mean they necessarily do the same thing. So they're in synergy with the others, and so they perform slightly differently in the various body systems. So we have the same plant in the same body system, but in combination and in synergy with other botanicals, then it performs a slightly different operation. The body can pick and choose with its hierarchy of needs what exactly needs to be done. So we have a full array of items here that will address the lymph system, the circulatory, the endocrine, urinary, nervous system, the respiratory system, skeletal, and digestive system. And of course, the digestive system has various organs that make up the full digestive system. So we've got botanicals that can address the needs of various systems as well. So we have functional nutrients that are performing all of these functions in our cells so that all of these systems will be optimized. The GTS is also a great formulation. It also contains the apple and ashwagandha, the Siberian ginseng, the gooseberry, green tea leaf, magnolia vine fruit, and pineapple, and water hyssop leaf, and that one addresses all of these 8 systems. The heart has grapeseed, hawthorn flower, mistletoe, the white mistletoe, the pomegranate seed, the raspberry, and the wild strawberry for addressing these various body systems you see here. And our next formulation is the HEPR. We call it HEPR, and that means liver. So a lot of these botanicals listed here will help detoxify the liver, and there's plenty of scientific data to support the fact that these plants do indeed help improve the circulatory system and the flow of bile, which is used in digestion and various biochemicals that are produced during these processes. So it's mostly for the liver and the digestive system, and it plays a hand in detoxifying the endocrine system, which a lot of synthetic chemicals can also get stuck in for years. Actually, synthetics, the body finds it very, very difficult to eliminate a lot of these toxic synthetic chemicals that we find everywhere in consumer products, workplace chemicals that we might use, household chemicals, things that are in the air from industrial pollution, water pollution, chemical pesticide sprays in our foods, things like that. So. The HEPR is very, very good for being able to, actually I should say the botanicals in the HEPR are known for helping the body eliminate these toxic synthetic chemicals. They actually bind to the molecules and help the body eliminate them safely. So these are the different channels that it can do that with. And the ICE is, again, these botanicals have an affinity for the digestive system. So if anyone has digestive upsets, these set of botanicals work very, very well to neutralize stomach acids without destroying the ecoflora, which is very, very important for digestion. And so a lot of these do either repair work at the tissues that line the stomach lining tissues, or they will just detoxify. They will calm the nervous system down. The licorice root also regulates blood pressure, not regulates like a medication, of course, but it provides the nutrient substances that allow the body to manufacture the biochemicals that in turn help regulate blood pressure. So that's very important as well. Meadowsweet leaf and sea buckthorn berry are also very good for just calming down the digestive system and actually helping to digest foods. Our MLS I consider our star formulation because it has the most botanicals in it, and it actually addresses the nutritional needs of every single body system. More so than any other of our formulations. So we have artichoke leaf, carnation seeds, chamomile flower, the German hybrid kind, not hybrid, but the German kind, and the cinnamon bark. Boy, I almost said that completely wrong. Coriander seed, cranberry, black currant, dandelion root, fenugreek seed, the common type, and the ginger root, grapefruit, licorice root, mandarin, papaya, pine nut, pumpkin seed, purple coneflower root, sweetie, which is a citrus fruit, thyme leaf, and turmeric root. These are anti-inflammatories, detoxifiers, substances that are in these botanicals that actually make sure they go in and repair DNA sequences that might have been damaged. So this is our formulation that is just a multi-spectrum of wonderful nutrients.
And it makes sense. With all those botanicals, it would make sense that that would address all those body systems that you're showing on the slide to the right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our bodies require nutrition, and these are functional foods, and this is why we're classified as a nutraceutical. The NRM contains botanicals that actually help the body regulate its blood sugar better, so that, and there it is, right there. I like that blue, it's very pretty. In fact, they're all so beautiful, all of them. But yes, this is the norm. People who say you eat too much sugar and you want to make sure your pancreas is working properly, well, it needs the right types of vitamins and minerals and phytonutrient factors that help regulate all of that. So these botanicals contain these nutrient factors that help bring your blood sugar and help your pancreas understand what to do, at the DNA level. So it helps with the instructions in the DNA to make sure that everything is functioning properly. So we have apple, balsam pear fruit, fenugreek salad, the common, Siberian ginseng root, the gumar leaf, the lychee fruit, and Malabar tamarind fruit. I'd never heard of this before, but when I did the research, I was overwhelmed by how much research has been done on this little-known fruit, as far as I know, in the United States.
And I'm going to suspect that some of the audience is salivating right now because these drops are absolutely delicious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And knowing that all of these nutrient factors are in those little drops. And that's how small the body has to break down foods in order to fit through that cell membrane to absorb these nutrients. So nutrients are very, very tiny, okay? So the body has to, if you were to eat all of these fruits and nuts and seeds and herbs, that would be a tremendous amount of foods to take in. But and you'd have to break them all down to the point where you can utilize them at the cellular level. Well, this has already been done for us. We don't have to digest anything. It's already dissolved in our mouths, and it's assimilated through our cell membranes in the mouth and distributed throughout the bloodstream. So it circulates everywhere, and the body chooses what needs to be done first, all the way down to the things that are the least important. And that happens to be your connective tissues. The body needs your connective tissues, but it's not life threatening or anything. So the body preserves the nervous system and the brain, of course, the heart, your vital organs and things like that. So it has a hierarchy of needs. And so when you take in these botanicals, then all those needs will be addressed. We have any comment there? I can tell you want to say something.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. And they're dissolving very nicely.
He's quiet because he's eating. He's being nourished. Okay. We have the RLX formulation, and that is basically a group of botanicals that are known to help the body produce the hormones that allow restful, natural sleep. We don't have anything in our formulations that will be a sedative or anything like that. These are not drugs, folks. These are nutrients, and these nutrients help our cells function normally, and therefore that translates to better health. So the RLX contains ashwagandha root, banana. The banana actually was very surprising. Another simple fruit that contains so many wonderful nutrient factors that actually put you in a better mood. So there's phytochemicals in bananas that they don't make you high, but they put you in a better mood as far as bringing on the development of hormones that will make you feel better and happier. Okay, so the banana was a surprisingly happy fruit, right? Also, we have the relaxing chamomile flower, the German type, the Siberian ginseng root, which is good for so many things. I mean, if you look at the science behind the ginsengs, there's years and years of research as far as everything that, all the body systems that the ginseng may address. So lettuce, the simple lettuce, another surprising, seemingly benign. I can see dark leafy greens, but the lettuce has quite a bit to offer as well. The passion flower leaf and the pine nut. So we've got nuts and seeds and herbs and fruits all combining here together for the maximum amount of nutritional needs for your body.
And could you go back to that just a minute?
Sure.
So which body systems are they assisting with in this particular?
For the relax,
yes.
for the RLX?
Yes.
That would be the nervous system.
Okay.
Okay, it allows the system to calm down enough to fire those neurons and communicate from cell to cell, from system to system correctly, rather than misfiring like a lot of people take in, like Red Bull or all these really super high sugar, high caffeine, high synthetic chemical drinks, and the body just simply goes into a panic and it tries its best to quickly metabolize and get rid of. It doesn't utilize, and there's no nutrition in any of these crazy drinks that wreak havoc on your nervous system and your brain. And someone might feel super alert for a few minutes and then come crashing down when the body finally eliminates all those toxic chemicals, all those incorrect molecules. Also the endocrine system.
Right.
It's important for maintaining the hormones, as I said, to maintain that homeostasis or biochemical balance. Did I answer your question, Carl?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I tend to go off on tangents here. We also have two wonderful formulations created just for men and for women. Actually, they have some of the same botanicals, so they act differently in the female system versus the male system. So we don't have plants that are going to change your hormones or anything like that. They are simply going to help your system, since the plants contain all the precursors for all the hormones the body can possibly make, then the body gets to choose as to what is needed first and what is needed subsequently after that. So the apricot formulation we call the HERS formulation. It also contains the ashwagandha, asparagus, and damiana, ginger root, and ginkgo leaf. So this is a good balance of botanicals for all the precursors the human body, female body needs to maintain proper hormonal balance. And the same for the male, the power lemon would be the ashwagandha as well, damiana, fig, which is unique. It has a lot of male-like precursors that are known as plant sterols and other types of molecules that actually aid the body produce the right types of molecules. So those are very good for both men and women. Actually, both men and women contain the different types of reproductive hormones that identify the sexes, of course. But when we take in plants that are across the board the precursors for all the hormones, then the body gets to choose. The body knows what to do. Okay, so the ginger root, the ginseng, the Asian ginseng, and lemon and pomegranate seed, again, in combination, they create a synergy that assists the body in creating the right types of a balance of hormones. And as you can see, they address not only the glandular system, but the nervous system, the circulatory system, all the other systems here that have been previously mentioned. So this is pretty good deal. You know, I actually take both of them because I want to make sure that I have a full complement of all of the precursors for all the hormones my body would ever need. Okay, so SLD, which is the slide, I like it's very well named because a lot of these botanicals are geared toward allowing movement in between the joints and in between the cartilage, say in the spinal cord or along the neck. You know, everywhere where we have cartilage, even the ears, you know, are made of cartilage. Connective tissues are made of cartilage. These are all proteins, very important proteins. And since it is one of the last priorities in the body, in order to maintain that, we have to nourish it so that the body has plenty of reserves in case it does need extra protein to break down and utilize, so it doesn't take so much of the wearing down of our joints and tissues and things like that. So athletes love these. People who have joint issues have found a lot of soothing effects with the anti-inflammatory effects of these botanicals, and the fact that they can contain a lot of sulfur, which is used in every single cell and every single body system, and is very, very important for joint health and ease of movement. So these botanicals contain the sulfur and many, many other phytochemicals that assist in this process. Did you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm getting a sixth sense sometimes that he wants to say something.
I can't remember.
Oh, he's still he keeps popping these things. It's great. All right, so there's the balsam pear fruit in this formulation, ginger root, anti-inflammatory, grapple plant root, green tea leaf, licorice roots, wild strawberry, and turmeric. These are all fantastic anti-inflammatory foods. Then we have the STP, and that is actually, a lot of these plants contain natural salicylic acid type of biochemicals. In other words, the body utilizes them safely to tone down the inflammatory effects. Sometimes the body goes into a panic when there's something going wrong in the body, and so it tells you in the way of pain and inflammation. This not only tones down that inflammation that's sometimes not even necessary because the body does go into a panic, but in order to calm that down, you have to nourish. And so this is what these plants do. They actually do a lot of the cellular nourishment that's required whenever you are in pain, to do a lot of the repair work. So again, the science behind every single one of these botanicals is very extensive, and I cover these in detail in the book that I have produced that I will tell you about in a moment. So the STP, or STOP, they like to call it stop pain, doesn't really stop the pain. It actually attenuates and repairs and soothes and heals. Okay.
That's a good point.
Which is once you're healed, then you have no more pain, right? So this is what these botanicals do. These nutrients are fantastic for healing, doing the repair work at the cell level. ashwagandha, cherry, ginger root. I mean, just the thought of cherries just makes me want to go out and grab a handful of fresh cherries. Grapple plant root, licorice root, pod pepper, the cayenne, which is a very well-known anti-inflammatory, raspberry, and turmeric. So the company has put together a variety of botanicals for specific reasons. Now let's talk about the other ingredients. That's where a lot of supplement companies fail to produce a 100% advocable, is that a word? Where I can advocate any nutritional supplement, and most of the time...
Well, full disclosure. Right.
Yeah,
right.
full disclosure.
Right.
Well, not only that, but they just don't choose the right types of ingredients. I mean, they are not nourishing. They can sometimes be have inflammatory effects, allergenic effects on some people. Companies are getting better because of the social pressure that consumers are putting on supplements, but even the best of supplements out there don't have the technology attached to our drops, so therefore they're not 100% absorbable. And they do use, and even though they use whole food supplements, enzymes, they put a lot of these factors in those tablets or powders, they just don't arrive quite the way our drops do, and they don't get 100% absorbed. You know, so and if they have other ingredients in there that are aggravating to the system and may even hinder the absorption process, then we don't have an ideal, you know, supplement, right? Mm-hmm. So our other ingredients are food derived. There's nothing synthetic in there. Our flavorings are derived from food sources only. They are kosher, which means they have to conform to the kosher standards, which are even higher than many other standards in the industry. So when a company arrives at the kosher distinction, you can be sure and you can be reassured that our products are completely safe and natural. And I use the word natural in the truest sense of the word, because many companies out there are using the term natural, and that's too general of a term, and it's too ambiguous.
It's a marketing ploy, pretty much.
Yes, it is. You know, the people see natural, and our definition of natural, we know it's not synthetic, right? But that's not always the case out there. But in our case, since they're kosher and we say they are naturally derived, that means they are from food sources. The non-GMO organic sweeteners that are used are molasses, which is high in minerals, especially calcium and magnesium and manganese. And we also use natural plants carbohydrates, which is the natural sugars present in the fruits and berries. We also use organic cane sugar. This is the only sweetener on the market that will help the products crystallize. This is an industry standard. Everyone who produces candies knows that cane sugar is the only sugar that will crystallize. And so since we needed something that would be shelf safe and but maintain the nutrients inside the drops. So this is the only thing that we could use. And normally, I don't advocate sugar. People eat way too much sugar. But the 1.7 grams in every single drop is more than compensated for by the vitamins and minerals, which help attenuate blood sugar, and the extensive amounts of phytonutrients and all of these botanicals that also help regulate blood sugar. So know that the body does break down sucrose into glucose and fructose. Fructose is the sugar in fruits, and glucose is our own blood sugar. Also, the body can also put those two molecules together, glucose and fructose, and create sucrose and start to build a more complex carbohydrate known as glycogen, which is what the body uses to store in the muscles for future quick energy use, such as quick bursts of muscular challenges and things like that. Also, it feeds the brain. The body can break down sugars or build them up to whatever molecule size that it needs. So sucrose is easily broken down into very quick and very simple steps to glucose and fructose. Okay, so now we've got the food-derived colorants. Again, these are food-derived, nothing synthetic. The Food and Drug Administration and other countries have numbered these types of colorants, so don't worry, they're not synthetic. Okay, so we've got the caramel natural coloring, that's called E150A, They use natural coffee flavoring, curcumin, which is from the turmeric root, and that's called E100. Grape color extract, the anthocyanin, which is E163, and our paprika extract, which is E160C. So these are the only colorants we use. Some of our white drops don't have any colorants in them, but most of them do. We use one preservative, a natural acidifier, to make sure that there are no organisms growing in there or attach themselves to the sugar, kind of thing. So this is the only preservative that we have to use, and this is a very common preservative that has been used for decades to preserve things like jams and other foods. The body actually makes citric acid. It's part of our energy production cycle to produce ATP, and the FDA calls it E330. So these are the other ingredients, and there is absolutely nothing here that is unsafe or inflammatory or allergenic about them. Isn't that wonderful?
Great. It is.
Moving on toward closure here, this is the APL Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide that I have authored. I sat down and I did a tremendous amount of research because I wanted us to be aware of all the wonderful things that these botanical nutrient factors do for our bodies, and they are formulated so intelligently in each of our drops. So it's a must-have, really, for anyone who it's an educational business reference tool for our associates and our customers. Our customers are people out there are much more sophisticated and better informed, but there's still a lot of information that they have to gather from so many different places. It gets confusing, and then they end up not getting the whole picture. So the whole picture is in this one 600-page volume that I have put together. So it contains detailed scientific evidence-based monographs describing the health-building, health-protective attributes of the botanical nutrient factors that compose the APL nutraceutical drops. And it also has a 217-page, I think it is, convenient encyclopedia compendium of terms for increased understanding of all the scientific terms that you can't just avoid. You just can't avoid the science of it all. Just about, I think I've covered every single term that I thought people might want to know, and so I put that in there. So it also contains convenient quick reference product and body systems charts, which are very quick reference. You can tell right away at a glance which formulation addresses the nutritional needs of particular body systems, or you can go to another chart that gives a rundown of all the ingredients in a particular formula, including the other ingredients. So these charts are very, very handy. And it also contains a substantial amount of scientific references from all the scientific studies from around the world demonstrating the beneficial, functional, health-improving properties of the various antioxidant, DNA repairing, and detoxifying nutrient factors of the botanicals in the APL drops. And if you'd like to purchase the hard copy or the ebook, you can go to holisticchoices.com. You probably don't want to write down this whole string, but if you do, it's not that difficult to write down. But mostly you can just go to holisticchoices.com and click on the APL Product Reference Guide link on the left, and it'll take you to the same page. Also, you can visit our APL Talk on YouTube. Here's one example of one of the videos that we produced here at Illusion Studios that talks about more in depth the science behind the making of the book, the authoring of the book, and compiling of everything in it. So it's about, a 37-minute video that you can get highly informed about what's in the book and understand the science behind it. Okay, this concludes my part of the presentation. This is brought to you by APL Talk. Again, here's our YouTube logo that you can just type in your search engine on APL Talk at YouTube. Just type in APL Talk, ! Make sure you put in that ! Otherwise, you'll go to a sports channel in Afghanistan. Yikes. There's a lot of APLs on the internet, but APL Talk, ! Is what will distinguish you, and you'll arrive at our YouTube channel right away. So I'm Mary Esther Gilbert, and I'm going to give the floor back to my associate, Karl Tihenor.
And all I want to say is that you should now have much better better idea on the combination of all the botanicals that are included in these drops and the body systems that they address. And if I may, we've pointed this out on previous podcasts. This is Esther's book that she's referred to. And again, the purpose of all of these podcasts is to take an educational approach to help you understand how our body systems work, the need to apply the nutritional factors that Esther has addressed. And I do want to just, I think I just found right out to it, show you this page, because anytime you want to continue to access this podcast with the incredible information on it about what each of these drops do, it is in concert with her book. So she addresses these again, the body systems and how the nutrient needs of each of our body systems are addressed in her book. So it's a great partner educational assistance, if you will, with these podcasts, and we're so glad that you joined us. And if you want to tell them how to subscribe and like and all that, you're best at that.
Yes, back to that last slide here, you can definitely subscribe to our channel. So go to the YouTube, and in the search box type in APL Talk. I can give you a long string of the URL, but that's, who wants to jot that down. We're very easy to locate. Actually, I did a search on Google last night on APL Talk ! And we are the first video that appears there. One of the other videos that we did.
And we thank you for that, because the interest is pretty clear, and we appreciate that. We know that we're trying to give you some quality information that you can apply for your daily lives. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good day.